back to the channel. So it's been a while since we posted a video. So today we'll be creating a landing page, and if you can see clearly, I don't know if you can see the screen well. Let me zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, we've got this nice looking head section, which looks pretty nice, and this is something cool. And I'm going to be walking you guys through how I set this up, and hope you're enjoying it. And this is just a landing page for you to share, advertise your products. If you've got a business that you want to advertise, so this is a very good start point for you. And also right down here we've got the some type of grid system with some type of animations. So when I hover on this, you can see the cards kind of rotate a little bit, and also right here some bits of rings, as well as this one right here. Okay, so right here we've got the carousel. If you want to, you can click on it to go to the next, as well as that. Okay, you can click back and forth if you want to. And right here we've got like the how it works section. Also we've got a blog, but this is not functional. It is just for landing page purpose. So right here as well, and see we've got the frequently asked questions. Okay, and also right here we've got the bottom and the footer section. So this is just all we'll be creating, and if this is what interests you, then for real quick, I have a project coming up, but this is just for to make you guys have something to practice with. So here we also have the block section as well. As you can see, we've got the block section as well. Okay, so that is what we'll be creating, and I hope you like it. And okay, so we'll start. So what you need to do is make sure you have your rich text editor. So in my case, I'm using VS Code right here, and the packages need to be installed are all of these. Okay, Tailwind Merge, React, Lucid React, Frame Motion, and CLSX, and class variant authority. I think this is just for some little bit of stuff, like having additional features, attached to a button or a drop down extra classes and all of that. And right here you'll need a remix icon. So if you don't know, just make sure you install a remix icon React. Okay, for our icons. Okay, so we are going to start from scratch. So let me close this one up. As you can see, these are all my fonts I'll be using, but not necessarily all I've been using. I've just been using just few. At least I have to delete this one. I'm not using it, so I can delete. Right. Okay, so right here, as you can see, this is Tailwind CSS installed alongside the package, alongside the project. But previously we used to have the tailwind.config file right down here, where we customize, mix all of some extra settings and importing some plugins. But right now everything has changed in the recent Tailwind docs. So if we go to Tailwind CSS version 4, you're going to notice we've got like a new brand. Everything has changed. The way we add fonts, from the way we add colors, and all of that. So if you want to know all that stuff changed, you can come here and read more. And so so here's a folder for fonts. Right here is an assets folder. If you want to have if you want to have your images, here are where you can put all of that. And also right here we have a page. In every app route we have a page, and also we have the layout.csx. okay, so right here this layout is what is rendering this page. Okay, so in every page there needs to be, in every parent page there needs to be in any parent layout there needs to be a child page, so they can work with each other. Okay, so what we need to do is come to this page right here. So as you can see, I have my my project running in a window, in a terminal already. And what we need to do is make sure we start writing some code. And right now I'm just going to start everything from scratch. Okay, so I'm really going to be doing some little bit of copy and paste to save time, and I'll explain. Okay, so first and first we need to do is make sure we make use of this this one to be use client. Okay, so and for the responsiveness, it's responsive. Okay, as you can see, it's responsive, and everything still works perfectly fine. All right, so everything works well. So let's have all of these comment, and also we need to have our types of frequently asked question, which we are going to do when we get to the footer section. As you can see, this is having a type of what they call frequently asked question type, arrays of objects. Okay, so so if you want to, you can as well have the types attached to it if you really want to, but so let me just real quick cast to the type, because I have my other terminal right here running. So I'm just going to quickly cast to the type, so everything is type safe. Okay, so right here we can put I like so. Okay, and so right here we have our type right here. Okay, so right here we have our type. You could probably name this anything, but I just wanted to name mine that way. Okay, and hope that works. And I just want to name mine this. Okay, so right here I have to cast it to be I of arrays, like so. Okay, so like this it's worked. Okay, and also if you don't want to do it this way, and as you can see it's going to like, you know, is declared by its values never read, like it's going to say the array is missing the following properties. So as you can see it's being defined that way as well. Okay, so you can do like this as well and it will go away. Okay, good. So what do we even need right now? At this point we need to start doing something. So right here we've got a very big section. So right here we've got this section, here and here is a section. We have our header right here, so we're going to deal with this section first. Okay, so later on we move to the header. Now let's give it a class name, let's give it relative, let's give it height of it, bj gradient to bottom from white, okay, from 40%. As you can see there's this transparent between this transition of colors from white to this color, right? So we're going to make sure it's from that 40% to this color right here, that is FFB5B5. Okay, then on medium devices we want it to be rounded, rounded bottom, and to be 4XL, which is this one. Okay, and if I click on this one, as you can see it kind of goes this home. So right here, okay, right here you won't notice, but once we get to that section I'm going to show you. So it's keeping track of some ID, and if I actually click on this blog as well, as you can see it's going to come to this blogging section. Now you might be wondering how they do this type of thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. It's not that hard. All you need to do is make sure you give this an ID right here. This ID will be home. So if you check here, you're going to notice we have a hash home. So that is the ID that is being referred to. Whenever it's clicked, it's going to scroll to that. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is create a div, right? And in here we're going to give it a class name, mx to be auto, px to be 4, sm to be px of 6, on large screen to be px of 8, and the text should be center, like so. And in here we have another div in here, so let's give it a div, give it a class name. Right here we give it a flex, and we give it items to be center, justify center, like so. So within that div we've got a p tag, right? This p tag, as you can see we have text of extra small and font display, and this is I'm going to talk about more of this after I explain the audio thing. I'm giving it a text color of this, and here as well we're giving a background of this. Not necessarily that we don't necessarily need this, but of course you're going to come in handy. So let's save that, and for right now we don't know if our project is working, so let's start it. Let's run npm run dev flexor. Okay, now as you can see we're working hard. This is just my extension that I was using. So right here, let's go to localhost 3001 because mine is running on this localhost, right? So we kind of wait for it to come up. So while it's loading, let's keep on doing what we are doing. Okay, so right here we have this div. Make sure that this p tag is inside this div. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is have a h1 different. Make sure it's outside this div. Okay, make sure it's outside. So we're going to have a h1 with class text size of 4xl, sm to be 5. This on on media width greater than 40 rem, that is 640 pixels. Make sure the font size is like 3 rem, which is equivalent to 48 pixel, and also give it a line height of 1 right here. Okay, and also give it a text color of this, and make sure on medium devices when the width is greater than 48 rem, that is equivalent to 768 pixel. Make sure you give this and make sure you apply this font text size. Okay, and also give it a font of this playwright. As you can see, I'm using different fonts right here, and so as you can see, we've got these ones right here, and I know it doesn't make sense right now. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but just hold on, and we will fix every issue right there. So also we've got the what's it called? We've got another paragraph, and in here on a large devices we want the text to be extra large, and also giving it this same color which we did with the rest, which is having the same color as these ones. Okay, I know we could have just give them all of the same color, like let me grab this, and as you can see, if I give the same color right here, the three of them should inherit this color, I assume. So let me try that. So just gonna grab this color and make sure I have it right here, and right here I delete this one, and delete this one as well. So let's see, and as you can see, they all inherit the same color, which is good. So why this is even more helpful is because this is the parents div, and all of these that are inside are the children div. Okay, it's just component. I think that is something that happens a lot when I'm developing. So this is a parent div, and once you give this to have the same color, all the children adapt and they inherit that color. Okay, so now we have a font that I'm using right here, Now, in the previous version of Tailwind, they have got the what's it called? They've got the Tailwind.css that right there. You can make use of taking advantage of it to modify fonts, to change the fonts and all of that. But as you can see right here, in our recent version of Next.js alongside Tailwind CSS, that package or that file has been moved and has been removed. There's no way, absolutely no way you're going to have it right. You can't see it right here. So what we need to do, go to the the globe.css file. So in here you can let me remove some of these, okay. You can as well in this version make use of fonts, if you don't want to import fonts from like this one. If you don't want to import fonts from the font Google, as you can see right here, all the fonts, right, we inherit the whole type of fonts. Like you can choose to import from local if you want to, locally from your desktop, and all your whole project we have that same font. If you don't want to do that and probably you just want to change some certain fonts in your application, so right here inside your Tailwind CSS you can also do that. So let me show you. Right here we've got this so I'm trying to get myself a font that looks somewhat different from everyone. Okay, like this one, probably looking for something unique and different where you will notice a change if I save it. So I'm right here at the fonts.google where you can import fonts from if you want to, and also you can download fonts if you want to. So I quite haven't seen something I want to use. So probably I think this one looks kind of different. Okay, so I'm going to use this because it kind of looks different, and I'm very sure when we use it we're going to see some effects of it. So in this recent version of fonts you can get to embed a font in two ways. So I was trying this one out. So here you can click on the import right here and copy this, okay, into your CSS, to your global.css, okay. Make sure you import it like so. So as you can see, we have this font family link. So what you need to do is copy, make sure you grab this, and inside your theme, make sure inside your themes right here, as you can see, I'm using quite some few others, and all you need to do is come down here. Sometimes you don't even need to import this, but let me just try using this one. Let me comment this one for now. So stay with me. I'm just going to paste that font family, as you can see, okay. So right here, all you need to do is just say Cody star, like so. So right here we have the Cody star. As you can see, I did comment this one out for a bit, so we can go back to our site. As you can see, nothing changes, right? So we're going to test this both the import way and importing it locally. So for you to know how this works, okay. So right here we've got a font right here, it's called Playwright. So we're just going to remove that and check the Codestar, this one. Let's see if it works. So we're just going to check if it works actually. As you can see, nothing changed, right? Nothing changed, nothing happened. But there are some fonts you don't even need to, import it this way. It will just work. Font like Poppins, I believe. Like Poppins, you don't need to. It will, just inherit by default by itself, okay? But since it didn't work, so let's go back and uncomment this like so, and let's see if it changes. So here we Codestar, and right here back at the what's it called? So here we have the fonts of Codestar. As you can see, nothing happened. Okay, so let's save it. Nothing happened. Really, nothing happened. It's quite annoying. Okay. So some fonts does work, while some don't even work. I don't know why is that. So right here, as you can see, everything should have worked, but it didn't work. Okay. So what is the other way, alternatively to this? What I'm going to do, alternatively, I'm going to just download this font. Let me just download it. Once I have it in my system, so right now, as you can see, I'm going to open it right now, right over here. It has been opened. So my project, right? So I'm just going to extract the font, right? And okay, so I'm just going to extract the both fonts, right? And give me a moment. Let me install it. Okay. So what I need to do is come here to my font right here, and drag it just one. We're going to make use of one. We're not going to use because there are two fonts inside the package. I'm going to be using just one, Codestar, right here. So right now we've got this font Codestar right. What we need to do is make sure we have a duplicate right here. It's called Codestar, right? So, and in here it's a TTF extension right here. So right here we say Codestar as well. So what we need to do right here, we have got the font name, we have Codestar as well as this one we just need to comment it out since it's not working the way we want it to. And so right here we've got the Codestar. Okay, so when we go back to let's go back to our font right here and check that one out. And I believe I need to install it on my system. Okay. Let's go back to it again. Normal. And right here, Bebas new, here Codestar. And right here we are using the Codestars, okay? Probably it needs to be a small letter. I don't know, but right here, if I come here and do the as you can see, if I do the beavers, it kind of worked. Why is this? As you can see, beavers kind of worked. So I really don't know why this code is not yet as you can see working as it should. I guess there's a problem with this font, or probably I'm not okay, so I'm using the codestar.ctf. Okay, okay, so sometimes it happens, some fonts don't actually work, while some do work. Like I said, some fonts do, you don't need to, import it before it works. It just works out of hand like that, okay? So, let's continue. We'll come back to whatever needs to be dealt with later. So, the next thing we need to do is to make sure we have a button which is that goes to no page. As you can see, we are going to be using the next link, which we already imported from next link here, down here. So it's going to go nowhere, just hash get started, and nothing much happening down there. So as you can see, we have this button on hover. We set the BG to be this. But if you ask me, I think the BG should be way dark and to be something of same color, but just a little bit darker. Okay. So if I hover on it, let me refresh a little bit. Let me go back to a very sharp color. Let's see if it works. Refresh this. Okay, so I need to separate this. That's why it wasn't even working. As you can see, right, it kind of works. So I'm going to reduce color back to being 0. Okay, let me just separate these ones. So yeah, as you can see, it's way darker right now. Okay, so that is that for this section. Okay, and then down there we need to have another div, right? And let's give it a div, give it a class name, give it a flex, justify to be center, and in here we've got the image, right? Give it a class name, height to be full, extra large, we want it to have a height of 500, an object to be cover, like so. So it's complaining because it needs some source, which we're going to provide. So right here, this source should be assets hand.png. So if you come to our asset folder, we've got this hand .png right here. Okay, we've got this one. So what we need to do next is make sure we can as well leave it this way if we want to. As you can see, we can leave it this way and still is good, but we want to like blur some some stuff out. So right here we're going to have a div, a self-closing one, like so, and let's give it a class name, absolute. Also, we've got to make sure it's at the bottom left to be 0, right to be 0, and also height to be 1, 3, like that, and bg to be gradient. My bad, this is b. bg to be gradient. So the gradient is going to go to the top like so, top like so, from white to transparent like so. So if we should save that, we should get some, as you can see, some fade out stuff right there. Okay, and that is how we got that achieved. Now we're going to have another section down here, and here we're going to make sure here is set to class, no, section, there's section. Give it a class name. On medium device is going to have flex, mx to be auto, b to be 5, and text to be center, md to be text to be left, and also items to be center, and max width to be 6XL. Medium devices justify between like so, and then justify center by default. So let me just wrap this down. Okay, and we're going to have it to have a margin top to be 20. Okay, so after that we're going to have some heading tag and a paragraph tag. So this is all I just pasted. On medium device, I want the text to be 5 times larger, but by default it should be 2 times larger, and the text should have this color, and text to be a center. On medium devices upward, the text should be by the left side. Okay, so down here we should have something. So what I meant is this. So if I go small version, as you can see, the text is going to be at the center, but on a very from medium device it's going to go to the left part. So if I should shrink, as you can see, okay, good. So here we are going to have the features section. As you can see, we're going to have our feature section, and this feature section right here is this card right here, these ones. Okay, let's give it a class. So let's have a class name. Let's give it padding top and bottom to be 20, DG to be white, and also margin top to be 20. Right. So right here we've gotten a div. Give it a class name, and then we've got to give this one a container. Also max width to be of 5XL, like so. MX to be auto, and padding left and right to be 4. On smaller devices, we want to give the padding left and right to be 6, and on larger devices, padding left and right to be 8. This is good for what's it called, for responsiveness. Okay, for those of you claiming this build sometimes isn't responsive, take note of this. It's all responsive. As you can see, I'm giving it all the things needed for it to be responsive. Okay, so here we're going to give it a class name, and here we're going to give it the first card, which is this one. This is what we're going to be creating first, then this, then this, then this. Okay, so on the first card right here, we're going to give it BG to be gradient to the bottom, and we're going to give it from white, also from 40%, and when we hover on it, we want it to go from that color to something else. So in this case, I'm just going to give it I'm just going to give it this. So if you hover, you're going to have this color, which is kind of slight red, and the transition of colors to be easy. The type of easing should be in and out. The direction to be 5, and then we want this side of the bottom to be rounded, and then overall to be 3. Okay, and right here we have the border, and the border neutral to be the type of border neutral to be have the color of this neutral 100, and padding within to be of 8, and flex core, item center, and group, and all of that. Okay, so what we need to do is open this, create another div. Okay, give it a class name, give this absolute, and also no, my bad, make sure it is relative. Okay, and make sure it is flex, justify it to be center, and items to be center, like so, and give it a height of 220. pixel, and margin bottom to the width of 4, like so. So let's just comment here left image. Okay, so on the left image, right, we're going to have this absolute, you know, this is a different way of making this work. You know, I'm going to show you guys another different way. As you can see, this is one way of making this work, okay? And as you can see right here, this is another way of making this look somewhat like this. So they look pretty similar, but I'm using a different way for each, okay? And we have this one, okay? So we're going to have the center image as well, okay? So on the center image, we're going to have something similar, but right here, we're just going to make sure the left position is white, and also the top should be 50%, a little bit lower. Oh yeah, and also translate X. Okay. So my bad, I kind of, okay. So this should be the right image. This should be the right one, this should be the center, and this should be the left one, okay? So why is it not showing? Let's go and check our assets. So right here is having just room, which is this one, but it seems something is wrong a little bit. Okay, I think yes, from one.jpg. Okay, and that is relative. Margin bottom to be 6, width to be full. Okay. Now we have our image right here, all showing up. Okay. So what we need to do next is have a little footer right here, because right now we have all of this stored inside our gradient folder right here. So deep down here we have our footer, which have text of extra large font, semi-bold, and also text size should be small, which is great. Remember, this is a grid container. So right here we have so right here we have a grid. Okay, so div here, make sure this is not dialog, make sure this is a div, and make sure you fold not that, make sure you fold, what is this, make sure you fold all of this. Okay, and then cut this one and paste it underneath here. Okay, so give it a class name because we want to make it a grid. Okay, and then here we'll make it grid calls to be 12, and the gap should be 8. Grid, not grid. So right here we've got the grid. So here is just one grid. Okay, and height to be 22. So here, don't mind this. Sometimes I just choose to act that weird way. Okay, so that is one grid, and right here we have another grid. Okay, so right here we have one grid right here. Here we have another grid called the friendly community. Okay, and we are still going to repeat that pattern of which we did here, all of this. Okay, so right here done. So let's give it a div. Give it a class name, and right here we've got the class name. Alright, so here we're giving it BGF white. I just said that. I'm giving a group here. You can name a specific group if you want to use it, like here, and whenever you want to say cover on road, it will work. Okay, and also just pretty much the same thing we did here. We have another div, and in here we give it a class name, and in here we're going to name there to be relative, like so, and flex, and then we're going to give it a flex call item center, and we are still going to give it width of row, margin bottom to be 6, and margin top to be 20. Margin top to be 20, and here it should be margin bottom, and here it should be flex, like so. So what we need to do is have an image in there. Okay, so here we have, make sure this one is set to relative so you can control the image, right? Because there are other images around this. So giving it a relative and index of 10. And also right, we have this another image, which is the circle avatar. Okay, and pretty much I'm just going to whack all of these in here because there are like few of those, and it can be pretty confusing at times. So right here we have from the image you have relative width of 220 and a height of 160. Also we've got the top one, we've got the top right, we've got the bottom right, we've got the bottom left, and we've got the bottom left. Alright, bottom left, bottom left, bottom should be bottom right, I think. Okay, so here's our image, but there's a problem. It just doesn't seem right after all. So there is a problem. So if I go back to my find your piece, not there. So right, if I go to my here, BG white and the margin top to be 20, container and MX to be auto, PX to be 4. Okay, everything seems alright there. So the problem is, I think this is where the whole grid thing lies, and I'm placing mine outside of it. So here is the grid. So this should be inside the grid, I think. And let me refresh this. Okay, this is weird. So weird. Okay. What I need to do is start this afresh again. So right here we've got our feature section. Okay. And so we have the padding top and bottom to be 20. We've got the BG to be white and margin top to be 20. And also in there we've got the container grid and max width of 5XL and max width of auto, max auto, and we've got that as well. So now we need to make sure so let me see what we are doing wrong. So I'm just going to comment these ones out and explain exactly what we are doing. Okay, and let's comment this one out yet. Okay, so in here we've given it a type of grid calls to be 12 and cap to be 8, and also right here we're giving it BG gradients for each of the card. We are giving it BG gradients, and also from this color to this color. Okay, so right here, as you can see, it's making sense right now. So because this is one card and this is another card, making it 2 card, 1, 2. So as you can see, this 2 card, and this make it 1, 2, and this making it 3 card. That's why you can see this right here as well. Okay. So all these styles are the same. As you can see, they are all the same, just some minor changes. So make sure you pause it and follow up this aspect. You'll get the full source code maybe in 2 weeks time. So make sure you follow this aspect, and you'll be good to go. Okay. So right here we are having all these styles. So we've got from here to here, which is the friendly community. So we have the last one right here, but this one right here is lacking the images. So don't worry, I'm going to provide the whole source code in my GitHub, so you can let's find the source code in my GitHub. Okay, make sure you come to my GitHub, and you'll find the whole source code in here. Okay, and the next thing, so right now the image right here are not showing, so we're giving it a background of white and the rounded corners, which you can see right here, and the padding of height, flex call, and item center, and group cost of pointer, and height of 424 pixel, and a call span of 12. So right here is going to have a call span of 12. Okay, and medium device is going to have a call span of 8. Okay, and also it's going to be of relative, because we're going to position some of these to be like, you know, to have these absolute styles and all of that. Okay, but right here quite not using any of those style, but for the sake of this I'm using this relative right here. Okay, so it's searching for style.jpg and jpg, and also style3.jpg, and it's not getting them. So what we need to do is go to our asset files. As you can see, we don't have the styles there. So what I need to do is make sure I grab the styles from my folder right here, and I drop them right here. As you can see, we've got the style 1, style 3, style 4, and then we save it. Okay, style 1, style 3, and also right here we've got default style. So we've got to refresh. So as you can see, we've got the whole stuff right here. Okay, which is good. So, and that is not enough. What we need to do next is come down here, because we've got these ones right here, as you can see, right here as well. So we are not yet done, because right here in the original version we've got this one right here as well. Okay, so here is my GitHub. Make sure you come to my GitHub, and you're going to find the code. You're going to find all the code to my project. So ever since a YouTuber stole my idea, I've been making sure all of my repos are all put in private. So that's why you're not seeing any of this. So I have this one to be in public, and every other one's right there. So make sure you go check it out. I'm going to make this one public, okay, just for the sake of this tutorial, so you can follow along. Okay, so let me close this one out, and I think I closed my localhost 3001. Okay, Oh, there you go. See, the fonts we've been. Oh, all right. So the font was working. It's all my network. Damn. It has been my network all the time. I thought it wasn't working, as you can see, right? As you can see, this code star right here. See, it's working. As you can see. So sometimes you don't even need to import it like this. You don't even need to import it. You just have to type in the name of the font and it will all work well. Sometimes you just need to import it locally. Let me see if this works as well. So it probably needs a little bit of window refresh so for it to take effect. As you can see, it's still working. And if I go back to the home page right here, let me close this one up. Right here we've got this code start font right here, and also if we could do the pay bars, there you go. You can see it's working as it should. Guys, right now as you can see we have display, and this is the one we've been using quite from the starting. Okay, so that's how you can you switch your fonts if you want to in the new version of Tailwind. So you can either just write the name, just make sure the name is correctly spelled. But if you don't want to do that, you can as well just import it locally and it will work perfectly fine, okay? Right, that's got me scared that I was doing something wrong in the first place, but as you can see everything works perfectly fine and everything seems to be going well. So right here we've got the leaderboard. Right here you see they've got a component named Leaderboard. So we need to create this component called the leaderboard card, and right here we need to go to the component and actually we've got like two components, two actually, and one is inside this app. So here we can name it component right here, and in here we've got the leaderboard.css. Is that what has been spelled? Leaderboard card. Or we can make sure we use a leaderboard card.css like so. And here we can say export function leaderboard card. Pretty long name, right? Okay, so here we have to return something like a div, and also right here we need to export default leaderboard card like so. Right here it's kind of still not picking up, so right here we say div like so, and here we say h1 to be leaderboard like so. So right here down here we need to import it from the leaderboard card. So it's been created, so we need to go in that leaderboard card right here, and what we need to do is pretty nice. So here let's just have this one. So we're importing the use states from React. Also, I don't know if my screen is a little bit dark. Let me make it a little lighter, brighter. So make sure you have the Motion installed, and make sure you import the next image from next image. Okay, and we're going to have some types of user right here. We're going to have a name, we're going to have sessions, we're going to have avatar, we're going to have initials. Okay, and right, so the users right here is going to have this, the name, the sessions, the avatar placeholder, and also we're going to have the initials. Okay, so the initial is going to be the first letter in their names. Okay, so right, we're going to have what's it called, state is over, set is over. Right there is going to be false. Okay, and then the next thing we are going to have is a background. Just like all these ones, we have the background from, just like what we've been doing all this while. See, from PG, white, transparent, blah 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 blah. Those type, we are going to have them right here. So let me make wrap all this. So this is the same as we have been doing with all of these ones right here. Okay, so in here we're going to have the on hover enter and a hover out. Okay, on mouse enter and a mouse leave. So we're going to set it true if it's entered, and also we're going to set it false if it leaves. Okay, so right here, let me just take this one off. Being useless. So right here we're going to have a div, give it a class name, give it relative. Okay, and make sure we have a height of 66, margin bottom to be 4. Okay, so right now we're going to map over the users like so. So if there's a users dot map, okay, so each user and the index, okay. So right here we're going to calculate the position based on hover state. Okay, so here we just say const let's say position equals to is hovered. Okay, so if it is hovered, right, if it is hovered, then we're going to have the state right here is a set hover, right? But right here I forgot to add something right here. So here we are going to have some positions. Okay, so right here the position right here is going to be array of numbers 0 1 2 3, and also here we're going to have the position, the hovered position 3 0 1 2 in the reversed order. So basically why we need this, we just want to be able to shuffle all of these once it is hovered. Like if, as you can see, we got shuffled. As you can see, it got shuffled, right? So that is exactly the effect we want to make to happen. So if it is hovered, if the position is because it is hovered, if true, then the hovered position is going to take in the index, the one that was hovered, and or if that is not the case, then we are going to give the position right, exactly. So right here we are also going to calculate the white position. Okay, position. So right here we're going to say position times let me say 60. Let's make it 60. The 60 pixel, more like a 60 pixel, that is spacing between the item. You're going to see that in a second. So right here we're going to return a div. We're going to return Why is this not working as it should? Okay, so we're going to return a div, but right now we need to use the motion dot div. Okay, and in here we need to give it some keys. Okay, key, and we're going to make sure this is user dot name, user dot name, like so. And down here we're going to give it some class name, give it absolute, and weight to be full. Okay, so the initial and the y direction is going to be the index times 60, like so. Okay, and then animate, we are going to set the y position, okay, to be the y position right here, this one we did here. Okay, and also we're going to give it some z index. Why is it not? Okay, so we're going to give it some, wait a minute, the initial is going to be like index times 60. Okay, and the animate is going to have the y position. Okay, and also it's going to have the z index. Okay, so if it is hovered, then we are going to, if it is hovered, then we're going to give the position to be, and if it's over and the position is 0, if that one is true, then we are going to give it the index of 4. Okay, or just gonna give it 4 minus the position. Okay, or 4 minus the index, like so. Okay, so down here we are going to give it some transition, and then in here we're going to give it the duration, not the what is this? We're going to give it duration. Why is it not duration? The duration is going to be like 0.5 seconds. Okay, and then in here, okay, so if it's hovered, if it is true, then we want it, and if the position is if it's equal to 0, then user dot session plus 2. Let's say 2 here. Else we're going to say user dot session, like so, and then in here we're just going to have sessions, like so, attached to it. So it's, as you can see, height, like so. Okay, and right here I think it's kind of too close, so I'm just going to add a space between them, as you can see. Okay. So right here, I'm kind of wondering if I ever did the height of 66. Okay. Z index transition 0.5. Duration 0.5, or probably. So you can play with this if you want to. And the type should be spring. And should be spring. And the dumping should be let's make it 30. Okay. And the stiffness right here, stiffness should be let's give it to be 300. As you can see, it's kind of fast, pretty nice. Okay. And so we need to make sure we have a div about this first. So we are going to come back to this one, right? So let's just comment this one out. So we're going to take those in for a while. So let's give it a class name, and let's give it a flex items to be center and justify between not baseline, between, like so. P1 px to be 2.5, padding left to be 4, rounded to be full, and here border to be rows to be of 900, like so. And right here we have 5. Okay. So in here we need to have another div. Okay, so right here we need to have a h3. Let's just say h3 text rows of this. So it's going to have the name right here. As you can see, it's going to have the name right here. Also, we are going to give it a paragraph down here. Okay, and in here we're going to make this motion dot paragraph as well, and give it a class name of text to be neutral 500 this, and text to be extra small. Okay, and here we can have the animate here, and we can have this opacity. Why is it animate, right? message. What's going on? So right here we've got the animate opacity. Okay. So right here we're going to say if it is hovered and then the position is 0. Okay, good. We want to give it opacity of, there's going to be a little bit of transition of opacity here, 1, 0, then 1. Else we're going to make it just 1 like so. And also we're going to scale it. Okay. Also if it is hovered, not actually, we're going to give it like 1.12 and also 1 like so. So right here, as you can see, okay, so let me cut these ones right here. Make sure I paste those back in here. So as you can see, there you go. Okay. So so we're going to have a div right here. Wait a minute. Okay. I think here. So we're going to have a div. And make sure this is motion.div, okay? Not that, it's motion. Okay, so here, this will be responsible for the image. So here, while focus or while hover, right? We're going to make sure it's scaled to 1.1 like so, and also the transition, let's give it a type to be spring and stiffness to be 300, probably we can make it 400, and also damping to be like 10. Okay, so the next thing we can grab is the image actually. So we can, if you can make sure this image you have a different avatar right here, and it will work the same way. But there's a problem right now, and that is and that problem is this right here. We are having so let me take this one to this level right here, so they can be here, as you can see. Just so we have it here, but I notice here, right here, we are not having the border. Also, the texts are kind of larger than expected. Okay. And so what we need to do is make sure, as you can see, we have a border right here. Border, we didn't give it a border, but okay, as you can see, we have a border right now. Now the problem is there are two kind of together. We can make sure this is one for a start. Okay. And I think there's relative height margin bottom to be 4, height of 64. Let's make that 64. I think something is wrong, and the size of image is 8. So right here at this session, I'm still kind of thinking okay, this p tag right here, text extra large, so this shouldn't be extra large, should be extra small, as you can see. Okay. Whoa, what's going on? So right here we have it done, and it's quite responsive as well. Okay, so that is that for the leaderboard. If you want to, you can play with it however you want, and but for now we are done with it. So what is next? The card, we're done with this, and now we need to let's go to the local host 3000. Okay, so we are done with this one. So featured section. Okay, so this should have been, let me just make sure this is a section. Okay, so this should be a section. So we are done with that section. The next one we are to do, so I just try to make sure everything is inside what's it called, F01 file, because this is just a landing page. Okay, gallery demo. So right here is the right one. Okay, so we're going to be doing this gallery demo, which is this one, right? And we need to create component right here. Make sure it is called gallery CSS, like so. And right here we're going to, if you want to, you can as well. I'm just gonna select the language. If you want to, you can export function gallery demo, and here we have a return down here. Okay, and here we have a return, and we have a div. Why is it there? So right here we need to accept it right here. Let me close this one up. So you need to accept this one as the props. So right now what we need to do is make sure we have this defined. As you can see, we have my bad. Return this export function. Export if okay. So I'm basically importing this one in this format. Okay. So we need to how will I do it? So const the more data. Okay, so we're going to give it some type, gallery props, okay, which we haven't defined yet, but I'll show you guys how to do that. So right here is just as you can see, it's just not gallery, like so it's just what some arrays of object with ID of string testimonials as string and name, string and background offset. So I'm just going to import gallery props. Okay, I'm not having them right here, so the next thing I need to do is make sure we can basically create that right here if we want to. Okay. So we can basically create that right here as well. So what we need to do is create the types for it, okay, and so right here we have the gallery, right? Okay, that's good. So right here we have the gallery demo. Okay, so right here we have the demo. I think I made a mistake, right? So right here it should be, because I want to pass some props from here to some other place. So what we need to do is this. I'm going to the gallery demo is a function that's going to return the gallery. So right here I'm just going to rename this one, rename it to be demo, like so. And so here should be gallery demo. Okay, everything still works well. Just rename this to be demo. Okay, and for the props, we're going to have some props from the gallery itself. So right, we can create the gallery .css, right? Okay, so here we just need to tsrfce. Okay, just make sure it's a gallery. So come here and make sure the return here, it should be gallery, like so. Okay, and make sure in here you pass in all the dots, the demo data, like so. Okay, so make sure you pass in demo data like so, and the demo data should look something like this inside the gallery. So here we make sure this is a type of props, right? Okay, so here we have a type of props. We can say the testimonials should be of type of string, right? And testimonials like so should be of type string. The profile picture, I'm just going to grab all of this anyway. Okay, so we're going to have them right here. So here we're going to export interface. We could have done it interface gallery props like so. Okay, and here we can just say items to be the props here. Not props. And right here, this is what we could accept here. So here we have the whole of the items right in here. So or probably if we don't want to we could probably say testimonial props. Okay, so right here it should be testimonial props like so. And so here we're going to make sure we import these gallery props right here, gallery props, and gallery props. Okay, and here we have the items, and right here saying it's missing the following type: background color, the background pic. Okay, and right here inside it is gallery props, testimonials. Okay, it's just complaining about the props right now. That right in here, some gallery props, right? So right here, it should be this, and testimony props. Okay. This is strange. Okay. The string name. It's missing if the property testimonial props. Name and ID. If we not just put name and ID, name here and ID right here, of course they are there, like so. They are there. Gallery props, testimonial props, and here we are going to destructure it right here. So why is this stressing? Okay. Why is this stressing? Why is this stressing? No way. Oh my bad, this is not supposed to be there. So expected items, which is declared here on the gallery props. So it seems having this just the ID, the testimonials, the name, and the background pics, but it's not including the background picture. I think that's why it's complaining. So I don't know why it's having a complaint. Okay. Testimonials right here. Oh, my bad. My bad. So it should be like so, or better still, like so, and the error should go away. My bad. You know, TypeScript can be like grandpa, grandma. You have to explicitly tell it what to do. So that was why it was dealing with me. Okay. So right here we've got the scroll container ref. We need to, of course, import this from React. So this deals with the DOM element itself, and yeah. So we're going to write some logic just so we can, you know, calculate how far we've scrolled, and you know, so here const scroll going to have a direction. It's going to take a direction either left or right. Copilot, suit yourself. So we're going to pass the direction either left or right. Okay. So if we are hooked to it, the DOM elements of the scroll container, container ref dot current, like so. Okay, if that is the case, then const scroll amount. We can do if it's left to be like nope. let's just give it maybe 100 const scroll, like const, let's say current scroll, the scroll container ref dot current dot scroll left. That's for the current scroll. Const new scroll equals to, if the direction of the new scroll is equals to left. If it is equals to left, then we want to set the current scroll minus the scroll amount. The current scroll minus the scroll amount, like so, or the current scroll plus the scroll amount, like so. And then the scroll container ref dot scroll to, this is dot scroll to left to be the new scroll and the behavior to be smooth. Okay. So right here we're going to give class name margin top to be 9, max width to be 5XL, MX to be auto and relative, like so. And in here we're going to have a button. Where is my stuff? So in here we're going to have a button. Okay, so this one we have on click. Okay, and in here we're going to call a function that's called the scroll, and then we're going to pass in a direction, and here we're going to make sure this is left, and that is the only stuff we need. And in here, what? On click, why is this happening? On click, like so, and in here we're going to give it class name. This is just for the this button right here. So we're going to give it a class name of absolute top. By the top half, you're going to be 50%, like to be at the center, and the right to be 4. Translate white to be 1/2 as well, BG white, and also if we hover on it, BG white with some cool opacity. Okay, so here inside we're going to have some icon. which is a chevron right icon from Lucid. Make sure you import it from Lucid React, okay? And from that, we're going to have a div like so. Where is it? Okay, so we're going to have a div, and in here in this div we're going to give it a ref. We're going to give it a scroll container ref, and of course we're going to give it some class as well. And here overflow X to be scroll, and no scroll bar is actually a utility which I created from this one. Where is it? So as you can see, it's a class name where I named this to be no scroll bar. So make sure you have this, else you're going to have some scroll lines. So make sure you have it to be no scroll bar right here, okay? And I'm just going to grab these styles real quick, okay? So here we're going to map through the items dot map each item and its index, okay? And here we have a div like so, which we have the key here to be index, not index db, index like so, not index db. And also we have the class names to be of these ones, okay? How to fix my typos, okay? So in there we're going to have the host styles, because this is going to be a thing of the div. It's not going to be like an image, okay? So here we have the items, my bad, it should be item. So right here the background image is going to be item the background pic, so that's which we had here, background picture, yeah, okay? And also this is the old way of doing things. So basically I'm saying if there's a background pic, use a background pic, else don't use the background. As you can see, some of these have background picture here, like this one has this one background color, it has background color, it doesn't have background pic. So that is why from the types of where we are doing this types right here, we're giving it optional, right? We're giving both of them to be optional, because some we have a background pictures while some ones have background pictures, okay? And the next thing we're going to do is let me just make sure here we're going to say if this item dot background picture exists, then background picture, yeah, if it exists. So this is like a transparent stuff. This is like a transparent background image, to be on top of the image, like seen here. it's very if we have a background pic, this is not just this is the plain image. There's an overlay on top of it that makes it way kind of smooth like this. So okay, so that is essential what we are trying to achieve right there. Okay, and in here, so right here, if there's a item dot okay, so we need to import image for next image as well. So if there's an item dot profile pic, which are this one, so you're going to as well give us that. So let me save it and go back down here. As you can see, we're having the image pics right here, as well as the paragraph and okay, so right here we have our paragraphs, right? So given the text of wrap, so it doesn't go beyond the so right here we only having this chevron for right, and last but not the least, we're going to have them all together. So right here, let's save it, and then we should have the names as well, as you can see. So this one isn't working right now, and we got the chevron right. Okay, so we've got the chevron, as you can see here is the chevron right. We should also need the chevron left as well. Mind you, this is chevron right. Okay, so we'll wait for it to show up. Okay, make sure it is relative, and let me see this one and this one. Do I need to refresh my page? As you can see, it's throwing me an error, so let's chevron, need to import this from Lucy's React. Okay, now as you can see, we have the back one right, and also we have the front one right here, as you can see. So if I should take this one away, let me comment this one out. You see the images are, as you can see, just plain so right here I was able to control the state of the gradient. So right here it says from 85, you can make it a little bit darker if you want to. You can make it 50, as you can see, or you can make it like 10. I don't have a maybe 95. As you can see, it grows way dark. So yeah, that's how you can control that as well. Pretty nice. So that is that for the gallery aspect. So we are done with this one. Close this one out. So as you can see, we have the gallery there. Now we are going to be exploring the how it works right here, which is pretty simple as well. So we're going to start with another section, and this part is going to be how it works. So let me just make a quick comment right here. How it works section. Okay. Copilot, I don't like it. So right here we're just going to give it a quick class name. Give it rounded to be 4XL. 4XL like so. And the BG gradients, pretty much the same way we have been working with gradients for the past sections. Right here we're just going to give it a big gradient to bottom from this color from 5 pixels to white. Then the bottom size we want it to be rounded. Okay. Then down here we're going to have some div. Give it a class name. Give it the width of full. MX to be auto. Max width to be 6XL. Also PX to be 4. And SM PX to be 6. On large screen PX to be 8. On PT top to be 32. By the way, stay tuned. A lot of projects are coming up your ways, and these are all amazing ones. Okay, so stay tuned. Make sure you like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you comment down below if there's anything you do not understand, and make sure you share our content. That is very, very important, guys. Share our content with the great community of friends and family out there who are interested in learning front-end development and improving their UIs. Okay, so let's get back to it. So make sure you stay tuned, because a lot of great projects are coming up your way. Okay, and now we're going to give it a div, give it a class name, and make sure here it's flex justify to be between, and also give it items of center right there. Okay, so here we have got the div, and right in this div I'm going to give it let me just replace this one. As you can see how it works. Okay, so it's loading, and also a little hacky trick right you need to do is make sure you have a div right here that has nothing, because if you don't, this will be in the center, I think. Okay, it will be like, okay, yeah, I want it to be, because if I don't do this will probably at the center. So for it to be here, I just make sure I display a non-visual div right here. So it's kind of a hacky way of doing something like that. Okay, so here we're going to create a card component. In that card component, we are going to create now go back to your component right here and create card.csx. Okay, so here we are going to have some content, right? Export default function card, React node. No, we aren't passing any children component, so no, like this needs to go. And right here, sorry, we're not wrapping this around anything, we just need to have this. Like always, if you want to, you can make it type I to be this, and description markup written like so, and make sure the end of it you just pass in that, and then here you pass in the I like so, and you are good to go. Okay, so here we can import this card, right? Okay, so the next thing we need to do is I don't even know why we're doing the active and active that, it's not I just don't want to make it that way. So one thing we're going to do is this. Let's just give it a margin top of 44. Okay, let's give it a div, and in that div we're going to map through items. Alright, the map item, and here for simplicity we just need to do index. So right here we're going to have a div, and we are going to give it a key of let's just get what of the index right here, and then give it a class name. Let's give it padding to be free and rounded to be 2XL. Also, we've got to give it a width of 1 of 3, height of it. Okay, I think that should do it. And right here we need to pass in okay, so right here we need to pass that as width of full. Did we do that? Margin top, and right here. Okay, so my bad. Let's give it a width of full. Medium devices. Let's give it flex, and flex core. Items to be center, and medium devices to be flex row. Okay, and flex row, and then device is like so, justify to be between or baseline. I don't know why this baseline is coming forth between, and the MD right here we're going to make sure it is max width of 4XL, like so, not like so. Okay, and P of 3, like so. Right, so we are going to have a div in here. So what I want to do is I don't want this to be there anymore, and right here we are checking some stuff right here, but it's not necessarily needed anymore. So let me just make sure this one is this, and the height is okay that way. Okay, So here we need to import the image from next image. Make sure you import this from next image. So right here we have our stuff right here. So what I was saying is just a click effect, which it's not needed anymore. So right here I say a height of 1, 2. Let's see. Okay, that's better. So right here it's just so I think there's a different thing if we pass in as a string, and probably if we pass in like so. Let me see. I think there's a different use cases, right? So let's assume I did not pass this as a, let me pass it as a string. You're going to notice something strange. So right here is going to be 900. Okay. 900, maybe 1000. Okay. Probably I was kind of noticing it was it changes the aspects, probably the width or height, I don't know. Okay, everything still works well. So this is all for the cards component. So that is done. Let me close this one up. Okay. So screenshot section. Right here we can see this is screenshots. Okay, which is you know, you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, so let's go back to it. So here we are done with this section, and right here is a section for screenshots, and let's so right here you make sure you keep giving this stuff IDs. If I do not give the ID, that's because I'm not catching up with it. I wasn't even paying attention to it. But from your end, make sure you're giving it IDs. So you're going to see where this is more useful in later. But for now, make sure you give it an ID or two, and empty of 72. Okay. And here we are going to give it some class name, right? So here's a div. I'm just giving it medium to be on medium, like screen in that has a screen greater than 768 pixels. I'm giving it, making it sure it is of flex type. So, but if it is not, if it's less than the screen size, then it's going to be blocked by default. Then justify between, as you can see, it's between the two right here. And also making sure I'm restricting the size of this to be 4XL, and also for the bigger size I'm making sure it is 6XL, which makes sure it doesn't go above certain width, more of it. Okay, so I don't know if I should take this off. Will it still work? Yeah, kind of did. So what we need to do is grab the whole thing. Stay with me, I'm going to explain. Okay, I know this is a lot, but it's just markup. Okay, so right here we give it another div. This is what I added. Give it, make sure they have a border color of neutral 100, and MD to reflect, MD height to be 554, height to be fit, MD rounded through M, overflow hidden, gap of 12, margin top to be 6, grid cut, sub pointer, a page gradient to bottom, just the normal ones we've been adding quite some minutes ago. And right here I'm adding nothing but the next image component right here, and also make sure I'm passing this image props down here, and also weight, and also here I'm giving it the object cover so that it stretches stretches to the both edges. And also right here we can as well give some flex. Actually this is just paragraphs, and each one you don't want to spend much time working on that. So that is it for that. Okay, so I'm waiting for the image to show up. Let's see if we've got the image right here in our assets in modern, and as you can see modern is nowhere to be found right here. So what we need to do, I'm going to provide that as well in as you can see, this is the house, it's a modern house. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is provide this footer section. Where is it? Why is it not showing? Now as you can see we have got the modern section there. So in here I add another section which is quite simple. Okay, section, and in here it has these notifications. Note, so I'm giving it on medium devices would be great because it's going to be like a free column div, and also I want this items to be center. As you can see, this is just simple grid. Okay, there's nothing too complicated right here, so just a simple grid. Okay, now we've got what's it called, we've got a little footer right there. So here I'm giving it a margin top and bottom to be 20 flex, a justified center, and a div width of it. Reason why I did this is because, as you can see, if I don't do it to be fit, if I try to hover it, the whole of this place will be we hover, because it will assume the width of this is also the same width as this. So if I hover an empty space right here, it will also hover. That's why I give it fit. So make sure it times this width right here, and when I hover it should just be only this. Okay, right, so the last page right here, we've got so right here we've got the, let me close this section, close this section, close this one, close this one as well, and close this one. So right here, if you could remember, we have the frequently asked question of a thing. Okay, so that is what we're going to do down below right here. So let me just make sure I comment it out, frequently asked questions. Okay, so let me just see how I'll explain everything. Okay, don't let this scare you. Okay, I'll explain everything. So right here it's kind of complaining because we need to import motion from framework motion, because we do not have it in our in our components. So right here, if we go to the op card, make sure you remove all of this and import motion toggle, no, not that. So make sure you import motion from frame of motion, okay? Toggle, that will be a boolean. Okay, so let's just place that somewhere up here. Toggle index and set toggle index. Okay, and right here it's calling the toggle index. Okay, so it's going to be a little function where we're going to pass in the index whenever we toggle. So for that little function, so it's going to accept the index, which is type of number, set the toggle index, which is going to be of either a number or null. So if the toggle index is equals to the index that is passed, then return null, else just return the index. That means that is the one that is being toggled. Okay. So what we're doing right here, we're mapping through the frequently asked questions. So right here we've got each questions, and right here we've got an index. So here is we are passing the key and give it some class name, and here is the layout initial, which is set to false. Okay. So for this toggle index, like I said, it's going to toggle the index that which is true. Okay. And right here for the animation, if the toggle index is equals to the index pass, then rotate this to back to 0. That means we have clicked on it. Else we're going to rotate to 90. To the angle of 90. This is happening for the icons, as you can see, these icons. Okay. And here we are just passing the title, which every question has, and also right here, this is just for the what's it called? This is just for this functionality right here. Okay. So for the toggle, the index that is being toggled. So if it is equivalent to the one we clicked, so right here we're going to have opacity of 0 and height of 0. Okay, and also we're going to have the animate and the height to be auto, opacity to be 1. That's for the initial state, which is this one, is going to have a height of 0. So once we click on it, it's going to animate, give it opacity of 1. As you can see, if we click on it, you can see the opacity is there and it fades away. As you can see, it's very, very subtle. So you're going to give it a height of auto that determined by the content height inside this. You can see some have 2 lines, some have one. I presume some might have a line. As you can see, a line. So it's going to automatically fit the size of it. And exit, we're going to return back to 0 and all of that. So it's not as hard as you think. Okay. So as you can see, we've got our footer ready to go. Okay. So with that bit done, we need to go down to the what's it called, the footer section right here, not here, footer .csx. Okay. And right here underneath the frequently asked questions, I need to make sure I add this right there. Just the same thing we did with the previous one. As you can see, width of feet and height of, you were just adding this like a button which says contact us right there. So in here you can, make a link to your whatever page you want if you like. Okay. So down here we need to have the footer. Okay. Export default function footer. So right here to have a div. So right in our footer we're going to have some few links as well. Like I said, if you want to, you can take this to whatever level you want to. Make sure you cast this as well. It's all going to be worth it. Okay. So right here, we're going to write some few basic line. Then the rest we're going to do, as this shouldn't even be taking a lot of time, So yeah, we just give it a class name max width to be 6XL, and also we want to give it MX to be auto, and margin top to be 48, like so. Alright, and here we're going to give it a div. Give it a class name, give it text to be center, like so. This is just to make sure the text are perfectly centered. Okay, and we right here have this text right here, so text 5XL, and let me go back to the home page and make sure I import this one right, and that will make it stop yelling at us. Alright, as you can see right here, we got the text right there. So we're going to make sure we have some few other steps done. So right here we are having a flex just fine. Make sure you pause this and type this, and also right here we're going to define a function that accepts what's it called. So let me write this function, const button let bot type. It's going to take a type. So it's going to take a type. Actually, it's going to be either the type is either going to be Apple, like so, or Google, like so. So it's going to take either one of them, and so it's going to either take one of them. So we're going to just return the type. If it return type, if it goes to J, you can return it this way, but I'm just going to return the type right here, and that's all comes like so. So right here is we are going to call it right here, and right here we're going to pass in Apple, and right here we're going to pass it Google. So it's going to use either of these props. Okay, so right here, if I should come refresh my page, it's going to either be Apple or Google. So right here we've got this section right here. Okay, now as you can see, we have our two buttons right here. It's going to be Apple, download on the App Store or download on the Google Store like so as well. Okay, so whatever you need, it's going to provide that as well. Okay, so right now we are going to um, so right now we have this section, and I think I made a little bit of a mistake right now, and that is we're going to have pretty much most of this stuff related into one space, and right now we are just going to paste some of this code right here. So right here we're going to have a flex. These are just like free images. This is what I was saying like in the first starting part of this video, that we need to, if you want to do this in a different way, we could have used this space X to be like this, and then what we need to do is to just rotate it to different angles, and we'll have this nice looking effect that we could have done in this place right here. But notwithstanding, everything works still fine and well, so you can do that and it will work perfectly fine as well. So on the down bottom of it, right, we're going to have a footer. As you can see, this is all what I just pasted. Footer right here, and give an idea of profile, BG gradient. This is exactly what we've been doing with the BG gradient for quite some time, right? So right here we're going to give it div, and also right here we're going to give it IH1, giving the text to be clamp. This is just for responsiveness. As you can see, if I shrink it to a lower, as you can see, it kind of shrinks, and also if I increase it, it kind of increases. So this, if you want to do that kind of text responsiveness, you make sure you use a clamp right like this, okay, and specify your own values, and it will work perfectly well. So like I said, these are all the code you need, and if you are going to be needing it, I'm going to be having them all on my GitHub, and you can grab most of them right there. Okay, so this is all you can advance this to any level if you want to integrate other pages, and make sure these are all set to fade effects right there. So this is just a simple page, and yeah, you will find the full source code in my GitHub. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.